All right, welcome back to the safety net qualifiers. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a best of 3, but it's a qualifying round. The winner of this doesn't play any more games today. The winner of this qualifies to play on our group stages for the first week of February. You'll notice, again, we don't have dates posted publicly yet because we're unsure if we can play them at the times we would like to. Trying to find out some inside info from WCS on whether that's going to be something we could viably do or not. But for now, though, I guarantee you we promise to work around the players' schedules and make sure that it's at an appropriate time for everybody involved in the tournament, not forcing folks to play at 3 a.m. or anything quite ridiculous. So you guys can look forward to that. But this is, again, a qualifying series, so let's hop into these introductions. I'm Rifkin casting with Zombie Grub. Spawning in the top right corner of the map is going to be Neurosoft's Purple Terran representative Krass.
The bottom left as the yellow Zerg, it's Petraeus.
And before we get too far out of this, big shout out to J6x16. Just resubbed to the channel 2 months running. Welcome back, sir. And we see the Muslim in chat too. The Muslim, why aren't you playing in the goddamn qualifiers, dude? Better see you tomorrow morning, man. You just got called out publicly. Be there or be
tomorrow
squared.
NA?
Tomorrow's both.
Really? I didn't write that down.
Dude, I swear we just finished talking about this on stream. Do not maddles on me right now, okay?
Was it when you were telling me to make the map?
Yeah, actually, so you probably did zone that one out. All right.
Waiting for the damn people to make the map.
Yeah, those wretched, no good map. Anyways, Krass seems to be the only player we've seen play this map really well in Expedition Lost. Yeah, it was versus Sort of, no less. Sort of is a really good Zerg player. There's no question about that. But what I really liked was his aggressive bases. Now, you kind of mentioned you didn't know if he would take that third if, say, Sort of had taken the other. Maybe it was a reaction, maybe it was just the way he planned to play it out, but again, I really liked watching Krass expand towards his opponent on this map. I thought that played out really well for him.
Yeah, it made the map seem kind of cool, you know? Maybe a little bit of Terran bias here, right? Because it seemed like it would favor the Terran if it got to that stage, but to actually have and see the ways that the map can play out, like in terms of what attack routes you have, and you know, rather than just being like, well, I'm not quite sure to take my third, so I'm going to take it here. Oh, wow, I got attacked and whoopsie-daisy. That made it look intelligent. Almost.
I'll get the Reaper coming across the map. But yeah, I mean, whether it's the map playing towards it or not, I mean, you typically don't see it because Zerg players are so aggressive. It's really hard to actually establish that base in the first place. But the one thing I am really curious about is whether Krass will once again go heavy on the Widow Mines. We did see some problems from Sort of that allowed Krass to snowball with Widow Mines earlier today, but I don't know if that was just in that situation, just against that player. I mean, Petraeus is a whole nother breed of Zerg, and he's a very, very good, too.
Yeah. 6 Ling instead of 4, or even 2. You know, some shots on the Reaper. The second Reaper was interesting, because this is the worst Reaper map that we have in the map pool now, I think.
Yeah, there's no way in through the back, and there's only one way next to that ramp.
Yeah, so and it's not like it has a huge natural ramp like Inferno Pools, for instance, where you can actually get in above the ramp and run around. It is that huge of a natural. So it's interesting to see this, and of course, this isn't just to get in and harass. That'll help with the Hellions later on. No Banshees unless he gets Starport after Command Center, which seems to be reserved for people who go mech.
Yeah. Well, plus, without second gas, it would just be without cloak anyway, so I don't know how effective that would be.
Yeah.
Well, the Reaper's looking to take a shot or two. Yeah, I mean, it's less about trying to dance with the Lings as much as you want to kill those Queens, or at least soften them up so the Hellions can kill them a little bit later, but sadly, Krass really got nothing out of these Reapers. So going back home, he'll follow this up with the more classic build, something we saw that was so flavor of the year almost of 2014, you know, Reapers and Hellions.
That is an early Bailey Nest. But he is also getting a third, so he must be really scared of a Hellbat attack?
Maybe. I mean, it is Krass. He showed that earlier today, and I doubt Petraeus that you're studying his VODs or anything, but it's, you know, players have very distinct play styles, and if he did that earlier versus Sort of, chances are he's probably done this on the ladder versus Petraeus at some point as well. Or in
it's just too bad because, you know, Petraeus could get very good scouting with one Overlord. Yeah, it'll probably die with the rain, but... It's just too bad because, you know, Petraeus could get very good scouting with one Overlord. Yeah, it'll probably die with the rain, but... It's just too bad because, you know, Petraeus could get very good scouting with one Overlord. Yeah, it'll probably die with the rain, but... it would have been would have been pretty easy to see that he could be pretty damn greedy.
Well, the lanes don't get a whole lot done. Trades out about 6 lanes for 1 Hellion. I mean, decent, I guess, but I'll see how much creep control Krass can get. It's about trying to make sure that Petraeus doesn't spread this while it's going up, but Petraeus says, yeah, screw you, I got this, no problem.
Yes, he is controlling this rather well. He still doesn't know that it is third CC. You know, killing the... No, he does. Okay, he just barely ducked in there and left alive. Why isn't this Overlord being shushed? Oh, whatever. Marion, you suck at your job.
Shush or shooed?
It's both.
You need to shut up and get out of here. Alright, well, trying to stall the creeps for the creep spread as much as he can. He does have the wall starting to, I guess, get set up back at home. Always going to be a little bit wary of that back door, but factory's just kind of building add-ons for the time being, not really being used for much else. I guess done with the Hellion production. No quick armory, just double engineering bays.
Very standard. TBZ.
Well, I think it's interesting he didn't go for the Hellbats. We saw him go for that big Hellbat push. Someone who's willing to go like 17 Hellions deep typically will do it again, but I guess not this game.
No, just regular old third CC. Maybe after how well it went for him last game, he doesn't mind a macro game on this map. I don't know. Break on the back rocks means that he's most likely going to take this third.
Yeah. Makes sense too. Again, the whole expand towards your opponent instead of away that he went with last game, or last series. It was really the first series of the day. It makes it sound like we just cast a game with them guys. It was the first series like we cast today. It was pretty darn good. But while we got some dance around, folks want to know the bets of the series. We got 29,000 Petraeus placed on Petraeus, just a little over 12,000 on Krass. So people are feeling the Zerg.
It's the creep down fairly in time, and with the rocks having to still be broken down, it'll be a little bit of a pain. Bring on faster, guys. The SCV on it.
Please. Marines, please. So I saw that Reddit post. I never, you know, all the time we've been doing StarCraft, I've never really stopped to look at this. I didn't know Marines had a random attack time attached to them. Did you read that post by chance?
It sounds familiar.
Like, it's a difference of like microseconds, but that's why when they start attacking, their attacks become stuttered like that instead of just like all just pop, 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 like simultaneously. It's not enough, I think, to be really game-changingly crazy, but it's kind of cool to realize like, wow, this is real.
Yes.
Gonna have to run away from the banelings. Pick up. Yeah, nicely done. That queen's so low though. I wonder if he'd be like willing to just drop the medevac like one marine on top of it, right? Looks like he sadly won't quite kill the queen, but looking to get some pressure on this base. Lings do come in. Not a preferable spot. Picks up to leave. Banelings though, right here in the open. Hellions, come on.
No.
Chop chop.
And the SCV to, you know, sacrifice to the Zerg gods.
I mean, if the
nice.
SCV died for a baneling, that would actually be cost effective.
It did not, so...
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like, it could have actually been used. The Hellions do get wiped out pretty quickly. He's going to have to focus fire down the banelings so he can bring that drop back over to possibly save him. Now he does focus fire. Really nicely done, but that medevac is just sitting. It's just chilling. He's got another drop set up over here on the left side of the map, and Woodmine's getting set up to block out that base. But while this goes on, Krass loses 17 SCVs at home. He almost loses the 30. He still hasn't fully recovered this.
This is really bad. He has a lot of lings coming, so it's not like this attack will even everything up.
No,
it's gonna become 2 drones.
Woodmine, yeah, doesn't go off on much.
More than 2 drones.
He does cut out the gas mining, though. Fairly critical for the fact that Mutalists are on the way, but, you know, Krass has not even started his 2-2 yet, and Petraeus is more than halfway done. He still hasn't really secured this third base. This drop would have to do God's work, and it's not going to, is the problem.
It's doing more than I thought it would.
Yeah, 11 drones isn't bad.
Might rearm, get more than just the 2 drones that it did. And how many drones in total went down? 11? 20. So it almost... It would equalize if, you know, the only damage Krass took was in SCVs, but it wasn't. It was definitely in those upgrades that I would consider as well, being so late as they are.
There's the medevac too. Just kind of that timing and knowing Mutalisks are out, and he really doesn't have a lot to deal with anything. His upgrades being behind like this is right, they are gonna not impact with the banelings so much. Wow, that was a crazy explosion. So much as it is those lings not being able to more formidably deal with those marines rather than the other way around. He does finally have combat shields though. This was a bit of a problem. That's why he was getting wiped out so easily. Without combat shields, you'll miss just way too much health.
Yeah. In a bunker. Well, not in the greatest position, but that's certainly going to help as well. Not rallying his third command center, a little bit of a problem.
Yeah, if I recall, wasn't this actually hugging the cliff last time we saw it? Oh, what mine goes up in the list.
I don't remember that one. It seems like Krass is really trying to hammer home the, dropping on the left side, which was, he did eventually versus, who was it? Sort of?
Sort of,
yeah. Oh, yeah. He did one trick.
Why?
You could just run past that. There you go.
No, I didn't realize the door was down, so you still...
But, oh god, how is Petraeus, more in Krass's face, and Krass has done, 3 medevac drops.
Yeah, this is kind of crazy. Other side of the map, he's still trying to get some damage off, but he's just been bleeding out so much. There's a Widow Mine here, but this is not going to help out a whole lot. In fact, splashes a lot of SCVs under this to help the Mulisks. And, struggling to respond. I mean, we saw Krass have such a handle over sort of. If you guys watched that very first game we cast today of the very first series, you'd sit there and be like, man, Krass, is he a god? And the answer would have been yes at the time, but Petraeus is playing this a lot better, I'd say. What I like about this too, and this is a very distinct difference between him and sort of, is we have aggression going on through the Mutalisks, we got constant in-your-face action going on, he had the upgrades much sooner, so he's able to tango a lot better. Whereas, sort of got caught in a situation where he had to play defensive over and over and over again. So that's why we're seeing such a different game come out of this. Widow Mines are gonna burrow though. Oh, go off with the Mutalisks!
Nice
Decent shots. They're low enough that they cannot engage the Marines for at least 30 seconds if he wants to keep this alive. Keeping them back to regenerate sucks, but it's a necessity in this sort of situation. However, still down in supply, Krass doesn't really have a lot of killing potential.
Well, he's not down in army supply, so it's technically he could take a good engagement, but the creep was also something that he gave up by having to defend so much on his side of the field. So that's a lot of creep to clear up before you can even start attacking the third or the fourth. Again, coming out here, he hasn't had the time to build missile turrets.
Isn't have the money for it either. I mean, he's up in army supply, but that's why, because he hasn't taken any breaks. He hasn't cut any corners. Does catch a couple of Mutalisks. I mean, these drops that have been going on in the background have not been devastating, but they've been getting a little bit done in the background while it's been happening. Whether it's picking off a queen, or killing some lings, or rerouting the Mutalisks, either way, it's better than just sitting at home super defensive. Now, there are a lot of Widow Mines these Mutalisks are going to be dragged on top of. I don't think he's aware of this, so the Mutalisks are going to be completely annihilated. Oh, Krass, these Widow Mines. This guy in his Widow Mine zombie grove.
That was awesome. But Petraeus, he tries to replenish that meat count as well as going up to ultras and adrenal glands.
So I looked over at you for 1 second when you were like, that is awesome. You had the most dumbfounded look on your face, like you could not believe that just happened.
I did not think the second Widow Mine hit would kill all of them, but it did. Petraeus could also start his +3. There it is. At least, okay, both go down, so he won't really be that far behind from Krass's. And there still has not been a lot of aggression on his fourth base.
Oh dear, Krass. This is where you want to have a sensor tower, man.
Okay,
moments
so
like this.
Krass did amazing versus sort of. There's reasons for that, but I feel like he really got confidence in this map because of that. And now it's disappointing him all over again. It's oh, this is why I hated that map. That's right.
Yeah. The quote was, I believe, I don't think there's any pro player in the world that likes these new maps or whatever he had said. It's not okay, we saw him leave the depots down earlier before we get jump on the map hate trade. There's a lot of things Krass has done wrong. There's no even attempt at a wall or vision over here. One depot on this side of the bush would at least show the lings coming. A proper wall with a bunker maybe, I don't know, but throughout all this, he's man, look at the actual units loss is kind of whatever. It's the workers loss still. Krass has been able to kill 21 drones compared to the 86 SCVs he's lost over the course of the game. This has been out of control.
Yeah.
Adrenal gland lings are pretty freaking good.
It is a lot of Krass making mistakes, but it's also Petraeus. I mentioned versus sort of that I'm just looking at the middle and the left side of the map, and there are so many counterattack opportunities that sort of just was never able to do because he took damage in the early game. Whereas Petraeus is consistently always mindful of doing some type of counterattack.
Well, Krass is also pretty mine-full. He's got about 20-something Widow Mines in play right now. This is pretty ridiculous. If he can actually get these on the front lines, they'll even dish out lots of damage to those Ultralists, something we're not accustomed to watching them do.
Oh, a little bit overstimmed. And running on a creep again.
This really reminds me when the Protoss, they lose the mothership and they're like, screw it, caution to the wind, let's go. Like, it just feels like Krass is trying to pull off right now, but it's not gonna work. One of my shots are kind of okay. Marines might be able to hold it home. I don't know. It's adrenal gland on these legs making them attack so much quicker, and the Marines are just getting shredded because of it. The medevac count is not exactly high, and I think Krass is kind of got it. He's forced all in the middle of the map. That's it. There's no other opportunity.
His army supply was pretty damn good, but he went to 0 SCVs at the end of that game.
Yep.
That was a funny way to